You sit in the corner of your cold, dark cell, a bed of straw your only comfort. You were picked up by slavers weeks ago and ferried from place to place, given nothing but water and table scraps to sustain yourself. The darkness has sharpened your hearing, and you perk up when you hear an unfamiliar, yet gentle voice. Your stomach turns in a knot. This is it. Today you're likely going to finally leave this cell. But will you be trading one prison for another?
You certainly didn't lie. This is one healthy looking specimen, to be sure. Here is your payment. Hello there. Shh. I'm sure you're frightened, being locked up in chains like this for so long. Don't worry, I'm going to take you away from this awful place. There. Just take it slow. There's no rush. You can lean on me if you aren't ready to walk on your own just yet. That's it. This way, dear. There's a carriage waiting for us. You're doing very well. Just watch your step getting in. There we go. Go ahead and lay back. Do you need anything? I imagine you probably haven't eaten properly lately. I have some chilled wine in here and some nice fresh fruit. Of course, dear. Just be careful not to spill. The road is bumpy at times. I hope it helps with the soreness at the very least. Now, time for introductions. My name is Vera. What's yours? Well, it's lovely to meet you. If you don't mind me asking, how did you end up with a slave trader? Oh dear. What horrible luck. It always saddens me to hear stories like that. Well, things will be looking up for you from now on. Don't you worry. Oh my. I'm afraid I have given you the wrong idea. I wouldn't say I necessarily saved you. At least not in the same sense. I do not plan on letting you go. I bought you. To be honest, you were quite expensive. Though, I'm sure you're well worth the price. None of that now. Although I do understand how you must feel. To be honest, I abhor the slave traders. I really do. I can't imagine how twisted a person has to be in order to make a career out of it. And yet, I quite literally couldn't live without them. Well, it's quite simple, really, dear. I'm a vampire. Did you not notice the fangs? Well, it is nighttime, I suppose. But yes, I'm more or less what you're imagining. Undead, drinking blood, that whole bit. But what you probably don't realize is there are quite a few vampires that don't enjoy bringing harm to others. In fact, there are enough of us for a whole city, which is where we are right now. So rather than sulk about it at night, draining people, we worked out a system. Having such a long life means you can amass quite a bit of wealth, and we use that to buy slaves that would otherwise go who knows where. Rather than live a life of pain and toil, you'll be able to live comfortably with me in my mansion. All I ask in return is a small amount of blood every so often. Hush now. It's really not as bad as you think. I have quite a few rescued slaves. I call them my dear ones. The point of all of this is to spread my feeding across many different people. Each night I have 3 or 4 of my dear ones on duty for feeding. I take a safe amount of blood from each of them. After that, I won't feed on them until it's their next turn. That way, they have time to replenish their blood. See, dear, I'm very careful about it. All vampires here are. We care about you and want to make sure that you're safe. Why use slaves? Well, it's true I'd much rather take in willing participants, but there is a stigma surrounding vampires. So hardly anyone ever volunteers. Which is a shame, really, because it's quite a generous offer, I'd say. Aside from the feedings, the only thing you need to do is take some shifts, helping with the chores or just as decoration. I like to have some of my dear ones dress up in cute outfits and sit around the mansion for me to look at. Aside from that, Oh dear. Are you crying, dear? Are you afraid? It's all right. I know it's a lot to take in. Your old life is over, and that's very hard to accept. I felt scared too when I became a vampire. I was drained in my sleep, so I didn't even understand what was happening. I just woke up to a figure leaping out of my bedroom window. I felt cold. So cold. And immediately, I was thirsty for blood. It was an awful experience. And by the time I figured out what happened, I knew I didn't want that to happen to anyone else. That's why I do this, you see. I know it might seem like I stole your old life from you, but I swear I would never hurt you. I'm saving you from a much worse fate. I promise as long as you live under my roof, I'll care for you and keep you safe. I'm your owner now, and I take that responsibility very seriously. You're still scared, aren't you? Oh, poor thing. I wish there was some way I could make you feel at ease. Although, perhaps there is something I could do instead. If you'd be willing to hear me out, perhaps we could do a small feeding right now. Shh. Please don't panic. It is just an option, dear. You must give me some of your blood eventually. I know it sounds frightening, but it's nowhere near as bad as what you're imagining. Keep it in mind. I slept through being completely drained. Well, mostly drained. To be cured, you have to lose enough blood to die. Forgive me. I know I'm not helping. The point is, it's not actually painful. I hear it's a bit uncomfortable if you're not used to it, but it can also be very relaxing. It would help calm your nerves, and you wouldn't have to spend days worrying about it once you realize how easy it is. I don't want to pressure you into a decision, but I really think it would be the best choice to just get it over with. Oh, you'll do it? I'm so glad to hear that. Just wait one moment, we're almost there. Best not to do this while we're moving, of course. Driver, stop right outside the gates. Thank you, dear. Okay, are you ready? Come over and take a seat next to me. Good. Take a nice deep breath. Just let me get a look at your neck. Oh yes, I know it's dark. For you at least. Don't worry, vampires have terrific night vision. I can see you perfectly. Good. You have a nice spot that's just perfect to bite into. This will be easier for you than most. Go ahead. Lean your head back a bit to the left. There. Okay. Here I go. There we are. See, that wasn't so bad after all, was it? Oh, here. I keep some gauze in the carriage for moments like this. Press it into the bite marks. Don't worry, the bleeding will stop very soon. Driver, take us to the main entrance. Yes, that's all. Well, feedings usually go on for much longer. But I already have a group of my dear ones ready to take their turn tonight. Like I said, I just want you to see how easy it is. What do you think? Just all right. No need to hide your true feelings, dear. I can tell you enjoyed it. Oh, You're blushing. See, I knew it. You are oh so darling. I'm going to love dressing you up. We can talk about it later, but I'd love to show you off at my next party. The vampires in the city love to get together and show off their humans. Sometime, but only if you're alright with it, I'll let them taste you as well. Don't worry, that's not something you need to think about for tonight. Tonight and for the near future, you can just relax. I'm afraid you'll have to share a bedroom, but my dear ones are all very kind. I'm sure you'll get along famously. You're free to wander the mansion. I especially recommend the gardens. They're just lovely. After that, we'll work you into the schedule, and you'll only really have to take shifts with the chores a couple of times a week. Same with the decoration duty. Your first real feeding won't be for like a couple of weeks at the very least. Now come along, let's go inside. Yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? It's your home now, as much as it is mine. Now, I need to take care of some business, but Gloria, over here, darling. Gloria will show you to your new living quarters. You can get a proper bath and some soft new clothes. Welcome home, my dear